Hello, thanks for joining us on your channel of choice at this time, Africa Independent Television reality. Welcome to Focus Nigeria, your program that puts the searchlight on topical issues in the polity. My name is Benga. I'm really glad to be here this morning. After almost 5 years of what must have been the most traumatic experience of his life, former governor of Taraba State, Dambaba Suntai, finally passed on yesterday in faraway United States of America, where he had been undergoing rehabilitation from massive brain damage he suffered when he was involved in an helicopter crash on October 25, 2012. Suntai was the sitting governor of Taraba then and had just been re-elected for a second term, but his love for flying as a trained pilot knew no bounds. He regularly flew. He was on one of such flights from Jalingo to Yola, but his helicopter crashed just in the outskirts of the Yola airport. And from there, intrigues took over. So much political intrigues that started. He was subsequently evacuated from the National Hospital here in Abuja, flown to Germany, and then brought back just as the agitations for him to be declared incapacitated grew. The attempts by his close aides to stave off the agitation when they suddenly discharged him from the German hospital and hurriedly brought him back to Nigeria seriously backfired as the man betrayed every sign of a man in a different world completely, not aware of the intrigues and power play around him.
I am just coming from Abuja. I am just coming from Abuja, and I'm happy that you have welcomed me.
So I think we can do the interview perhaps after a day.
Exactly.
No, he's not saying things.
So yeah.
It's okay.
So let's go and allow us to
Okay.
Come on. Come on. Mrs. Doha from Southwest, member of the government.
God bless you. God, definitely God has healed you. It is perfect in Jesus' name. You are covered by the blood of the Lamb, and so shall it be.
Just briefly, please, briefly. Then Professor King. King was outside to the relation of Mr. President.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, yes. Deputy Chairman, the chairman of the party is
He
not
knows that one.
well.
That one is his person.
Okay. So that's it. After
That one is his person. He's telling you that this one is his person.
No, it will be okay. It will be okay. Speaker, House of Assembly.
Speaker, you all know my problem. Please pray to God that God will forgive me, that you have prayed. You have promised me.
We are prayed in Jesus' name. Amen.
Forgive me.
Zonal Secretary of the party, DDP. Your name?
I have prayed with you more than any other person. I'm so happy that you have come.
Those were materials straight from our archive, and those were events that happened 5 years ago. And since he was he's out of the scene, not much has been heard of him until sadly his death was announced yesterday afternoon by one of his close aides when he was in office, Emmanuel Bello, a newspaper editor. Dambaba Suntai passed on yesterday to rest finally free from all of those shenanigans, free from trauma particularly. Again, one of the essential lessons of life. And to this one, I don't know how many of you heard this story when it broke late last week. The Legal Practitioners Privileges Committee, the body that is responsible for the award of the revered title of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, as well as for the discipline in the ranks of lawyers, moved against a senior lawyer last Thursday. And by the time the dust settled, Mr. Bello Olisa Nwofo had been stripped of his title of Senior Advocate of Nigeria. The committee had charged Mr. Nsofo with professional misconduct arising from his handling of the case of Senator Alimodu Sheriff against Senator Ahmed McCarthy in the PDP legal logjam that made it difficult for Yitayo Jegede to emerge as PDP candidate in time for the Ondo governorship election. Nsofo had been accused of so many acts of Jankara practice. In case you don't know what Jankara means, Jankara is a market in Lagos where anything goes. You can buy anything from human head to anything. And you can get the signature of anybody in the whole world, including Donald Trump's signature. If you want it, just go there, you'll get it. That's Jankara market in Lagos for you. Now, Jankara market is used to describe lawyers who throw in everything, good and bad, into legal practice. And as a lawyer to Sheriff, you know, Nsofo was guilty of that. For instance, in one of the allegations against him, he was not just the lawyer to Sheriff, he also mandated another lawyer in his chambers to appear for the PDP that was a defendant. In other words, he was lawyer to both plaintiff and defendant in the same case. But perhaps what really got Nsofo into trouble was his decision to join the 3 Court of Appeal justices that dismissed Sheriff's appeal at that court as parties in the Supreme Court when he appealed to the Supreme Court, a complete sacrilege in legal practice. He had also, while before the Court of Appeal, led his client in making spurious allegations of corruption against the first panel that handled the Yitayo Jegede's case, such that the panel had to dismiss itself. But in the legal profession, where the wheel of justice grinds slowly in observance of the rule of law and due process, Nsofo was accorded all the opportunities till he ran out of tactics. And so last week, just like Otumba Kunle Kalejaye, another senior lawyer, who some years ago carried his legal duties to Prince Olagunsoye Oyinlola in an election petition beyond the call of duty and lost his professional license to practice as a lawyer. Well, Nsofo is a little bit lucky, as he would no longer be called the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, but he will still practice as a lawyer. Here, I mean, just to tell you the kind of person he is, here we went back to the archive too, and here you listen to him as he speaks, in this particular interview, you see him speaking so gullibly and unabashedly, you know, when he thought he was doing the right thing by stalling the proceedings in the Court of Appeal after he had accused the justices of corruption.
Position of the law presently is that once an appeal has been entered at the Supreme Court, appeal from Court of Appeal to Supreme Court, or even from High Court to Court of Appeal, once it's entered, that is to say, once you have transmitted the records and they have received it, and you have in addition a motion for stay of further proceedings, the lower court, which this court is to the Supreme Court, must stop further proceedings and allow the Supreme Court to take a decision one way or the other. It is now exclusive duty of the Supreme Court to take a decision. And that's what we argued, that this court no longer has jurisdiction to continue at a time the Supreme Court is now seized of the whole proceedings. Appeal entered, motion for stay of further proceedings pending before them.
Bello Olisa Nwofo, the lawyer who was stripped of his title of Senior Advocate of Nigeria late last week. When lawyers stake all their reputation, integrity, and career in the defense of political ends, is it for money or is it worth it? All right, so many other things happening in the politics, things we could talk about as well too. For instance, Evans, the billionaire kidnapper, has gone to court. Yes, I warned severally about this in the last 2 weeks, but I will reserve my comments on this one probably till tomorrow. So let's move on to the next area. Our discussion is up next, actually. And today we return to Rivers State politics. Last weekend, Governor Nyesom Wike sacked his entire cabinet in what the governor says is an attempt for him to rejig the cabinet. But his opponents are insisting that all has not been well in the cabinet, and they point to the sacking of the Commissioner for Works earlier last week and the resignation of the Commissioner for Information and Communication 24 hours after that. All of these are also coming in the midst of the never-ending feud between the governor and the last and his predecessor in office, now Minister of Transport, Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi. There are other issues, all of which we will be taking up shortly when Chief Emeh, Glory Emeh, former Chief of Staff to the Government House, he was Chief of Staff to Governor Celestine Omehia, and now he is an ally of Governor Nyesom Wike. He'll be joining me after this short break.
They see chaos and conflicts. We see community action for good governance. They see poverty and want. We see perseverance and the will to go on. They see economic law. We see the ingenuity and creative spirit of our people. We are AIT News, fresh, authentic views of Africa. How would you rather see the world? AIT News, all sides, all the time. They see chaos and conflicts. We see community action for good governance. They see poverty and want. We see perseverance and the will to go on. They see economic law. We see the ingenuity and creative spirit of our people. We are AIT News, fresh, authentic views of Africa. How would you rather see the world? AIT News, all sides, all the time.
All right, if you're just joining us, a very warm welcome to you. We're starting this morning's conversation now because my guest is seated here in the studio. My pleasure to welcome Honorable Barrister as well, Barrister Emeh, Glory Emeh, former Commissioner for Transport and Aviation. That was during the orderly years. It was that Commissioner of Transport and Aviation under the government of Dr. Peter Odili. And then, of course, he was former Chief of Staff to in the River State Government House. That was in the 4 months or so regime of Sir Celestine Omehia. It's moved from here to there, back to here and there again since then. Because I know that up until some months ago, 2-3 months ago, you were a stalwart of the APC.
Yes, you're right.
But today you are in the PDP.
That's right.
What does that say about your political career?
It means that I'm a dynamic person. I'm a person who appreciates that there is always opportunity to separate fast from fantasy. It also means that as a manager of men and material, I know when the system is not what it should be. And that was why we moved over 8,000 persons from APC to PDP.
What has happened in the APC that you suddenly found wrong?
Yeah, I'm sure you know.
Because a lot of people will describe a politician of your status as these are anywhere benefic politician.
Well, I'm above that. Anybody who knows my background, parental background, and mine, the one I developed myself over the years, will know that I'm not looking for what to eat. But that's not to say I'm immodest. The issue is that the problems of APC, you already know with what happened some few weeks ago in the state. But we saw it coming.
What happened?
I saw it coming.
A few months ago?
While we were in APC, I have always told them that the party had no direction. There's no leadership. There's no administration. Everybody knows. And I told them, I came into APC shortly before I noticed that there were no proper structure. And so a group of people who feel the same way came to me and said, look, we can't continue to remain in this place.
What kind of structure are you looking for?
First,
if you have a party that has a chairman,
I'm coming.
Chief Ikanya is the last time I checked was still the chairman of the APC in Rivers.
Yes. First, Ikanya doesn't live in Port Harcourt. Ikanya lives in Abuja. Two, there's three distinct factions in the party. Those who are loyal to Rotimi Amechi, those who are loyal to Magnus Abi, and those who are loyal to Dakuku Peter side. And in fact, the last straw that brought the camel's back that actually made me to leave was in a leadership meeting where Amechi himself acknowledged that there are three distinct factions. And in the next meeting he was going to call, that was about November last year, he was going to separate those who are for him, those who are for Dakuku, and those who are for Abe. And when he called such meeting, only those who are for him should attend. And it was obvious that he himself recognizes.
Did you attend the meeting?
Yes, I was there.
So that means you were for him?
No, this meeting was for all.
Yeah,
on
the
the
subsequent
day.
meeting he called.
No, he never called.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering why anybody in APC will be loyal to Magnus Abe and not be loyal to Rotimi Amechi, or why anybody in APC in Rivers State will be loyal to Dakuku and will not be loyal to Rotimi Amechi.
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I'm not in a position to know why anybody
because Rotimi Amechi is the acclaimed leader of the APC, not just in Rivers State, but probably in the entire Southern region.
That could be possible. You can actually.
Do you believe that? While you were in the APC, did you see him in that moment?
I came in to see the division. You know, I didn't think it was necessary though, but it was there. And you can't intrude into people's domestic freedom because we do not know the reason why they are feeling the way they are feeling. Because, you know, when I left office as chief of staff, I left the country for some time. So I didn't know the new configurations until I came back. And so when I entered the party, I saw persons where we know each other, but I didn't see the cohesion, and I didn't understand them. And at every meeting, I make that statement. And when I say so, some of them say, no, Uncle G, no, Uncle G, no, don't go, don't. I'm not likely to attend another meeting. This is not how Dr. Peter Odili trained us. All of us are products of Odili. Why are we in this position? At the time we are doing it, Wike is busy cementing the bond of political fraternal coexistence in Rivers State.
But you were against him.
No, I wasn't against him.
Because you were not in the PDP with him.
No, I wasn't against him.
During the battle to.
No,
for
I wasn't even in PDP at all. I just came back from England, went to the law school. Okay. And after the law school, I came to Port Harcourt, and I found myself, Dakuku Peter started talking to me to come and join APC.
Was this after the 2015 election?
Before the election.
That's what I'm saying.
That is after the candidate.
That election is over 2 years.
The candidates has already emerged.
Yes.
And I wasn't part of the production of the candidates.
So you have been in the APC for more than 2 years. That's what I'm saying.
About that, immediately after the election.
And all those 2 years, you have not been with Wike and co.
I'm not against Wike, but I came back from England.
And you also not been with your political godfather, Dr. Odili. Because he is also not in APC.
He wasn't in APC, but so I had no difficulties with him as well, because I am entitled to, as I came back, the people who talked to me was Dakuku Peter's side. Come and join me. So I joined APC, but few weeks after joining APC, I discovered that there's no direction.
But you stayed there up until a few months ago. Anyway, it's like you left the APC too early.
No.
Let me tell you why. Just yesterday, the tribunal in Abuja, the Rivers State National State House of Assembly Election Petition Tribunal, which of course wasn't sitting in Port Harcourt, but sits in Abuja, affirmed, what's his name now? Chief Andrew Uchendu, I think.
Yes, we have.
He's your friend, isn't it? And you were very close to him. I found him as the senator, the duly elected senator for Rivers, that should be Rivers West, and not
Rivers East,
and not Sekibo. Yeah. And that happened just 2 months after you left. That's why I'm saying you left too soon.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No. It doesn't change anything as far as I'm concerned. Not at all. Because that is a court of first instance. Okay. You know, until you get to the end of the road, you don't smile. That is the cause. So it doesn't change. The reason for changing from APC to PDP, everybody in Rivers State knows whom I am. that it is based on the fact that the party has no direction, the party has no leadership, the party has no respect for each other, there's no confidence in one another. You can't have a party where a dog is eating dog. You saw what happened even now.
Isn't that the nature of politics generally?
Well, no, but even if politics is conspiracy, but it shouldn't be the type that Bengas, I know, you know me, I know you. You begin, oh, okay, you and Uncle Dekwesi are working together. And Dekwesi does not
We're not working together, I'm his employee.
Okay, we're still working together.
They're still working. There's no basis for comparison.
No, I'm coming.
Don't kill me, oh, this
Don't worry. Uncle Dekwesi and you are working together.
I'm working for him.
You are working for him, okay.
Better.
Now, and Uncle Dekwesi believes that you are with him.
Yeah.
But Uncle Dekwesi will be surprised that you are not with him. God forbid, I know you are with him, so I'm not removing your job from you.
Thank
now,
you.
that is what is in APC. It will, in fact, during the 52nd birthday of Amechi, you saw that a very close person of his, like Magnus Abe, was not there. And so, this we saw long ago. And I used to talk to Dakuku. I said, look, this party cannot win election. We are here doing what we are doing. Wike is busy in Port Harcourt, building roads, building infrastructure, cementing people, breaking the barriers of separatism. By the time we realize what we are doing, we can't catch up with him because he would have taken off in the race and you would just run behind him. And that's what is happening. In the state, even after the 8,000 people moved in February, over 2,728 are ready now. It's just that the Jubilee celebration made we cannot receive them. So every day, people are leaving. Very important. In fact, as I was here, just before I came into the studio, I got a text message from a very important leader of APC in Degema local government, asking me, he thought I was in Port Harcourt, to arrange for him to meet with Wike tonight.
He wants to decamp.
He wants to move.
You don't want to give his name. You don't want
No. in fact, calling where he comes from. Those from our area, from River State, they will know whom he is.
Okay.
They will know.
Okay.
So if you say, I left the party in a hurry, you're not. It's not. If I say you're not fair,
it's not about.
If I say, no. If I say you're not fair to me, I will withdraw because you don't know me very well. Those who know me in River State know that.
I only know you from afar.
I know. I have also known you from afar. But I want to say that it was a good decision at the time I took it. And a lot of people who are in APC there, I am like their Miro. They call me, Uncle G, thank God. Please tell Governor we are not against him. Okay. Hold forth for us. That's where we are. And I want to tell you that I've never made mistake. I've never.
Politically?
No. Governor Peter Odiri knows that I'm a very calculative person. Before I make any decision, I have given a thought to it.
What were you expecting in the APC when you joined that bandwagon? And that has not been realized now? Nothing.
I wasn't expecting it. I just came back. I've explained to you.
Is the APC not playing the role of good opposition in Rivers State?
No, they can't.
You expected no, they didn't win the election.
Well, first of all, they can't play. If you are not coordinated, if you are not cohesive, you can't play the role of opposition. And you are also, this opposition you are playing, look, let me tell you, when Odili came into power in 1999, there was heavy opposition. With this
from APP.
From
APP.
A lot of people, I don't want to call the names.
There were just two political parties.
Yes.
That's why I said
not even the party. I'm
Sergeant,
even you are calling. You have more of our elder statesmen who are my senior uncles. I don't want to call their names here in your studio. But they were heavily against Odili. But we dismantled that because of what Odili was doing. Now, it will take you to walk around the clock to dismantle what Wike is doing. And because you can see, if my two younger brothers, Abi and Dakuku, cannot sit and talk together, how would they plan to unseat the man who is there? That is the problem. And this problem, I saw it long time ago. And in fact, I visited Uncle Odile and I said, look, leader, this is what I'm seeing where I am. I want to return back to the house. And he said, you have no difficulties. We are even missing you. So PDP is the home which Odile built for all of us. And I begin to imagine, what is it that these other fellows didn't learn from Odile that Wike learned? Wike is playing exactly the Odile style. Go to the house of the enemy. Bring them, incorporate them, instill a new spirit of times, promote fresh commitment to develop efficient performance, install very dynamic mechanism for close monitoring and control, reduce the upland-riverine dichotomy, separate facts from fantasy, prescribe solutions to the problems of our people within a framework of a more ideological perspective, and do that with a conscious and supremely patriotic commitment to harness available scarce resources to accelerate growth. And for 2 years, we are looking at 2 years he has run. Even if I hate him, the mere fact that what he has done in these 2 years is sufficient for me to change my mind.
But a lot of people will also argue, or some critics will argue that the contrary is actually what is happening in Rivers State, contrary to what was like there hasn't been much of development. Instead, the governor had engaged in like a man who is saddled with a very big responsibility, carrying a very big load on his head, and he keeps looking back and is not focused on the journey.
Anybody who shares that view, I
he kept looking back in the sense that he keeps criticizing his predecessor.
No, come on, Benga.
And spend more of the time.
I know it's not your view.
I said critics.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's not your view. It's not your view. I haven't heard that. But what I know is that you don't tell a blind man that there's no pepper and salt. You say there's no oil. Not so, because it's going to have the taste. The taste of the pudding is in the eating. I had some, one of my younger brothers, Chidi Lloyd, the other time was in your studio, and said that they put keke napep in the pleasure park. And I laughed to scorn because you better come there. I think Channel people were there the other day, and they were amazed. First of all, it's the thought of it to put such amusement park in the state, the first of its kind in the whole of the South area. Let me confine it, because Lagos is an old city. We can't compare any state with Lagos. Now, when you come to Port Harcourt today, you have been there before. Come again. This one, I can leave a ticket on the desk for you. Come and see with your eyes, because I don't believe in one group come to television and talk, another group come to television and talk. If you don't like me, you will never say anything good in me, except we interact. We have to encounter one another, to appreciate one another. If not, you will have the impression anybody has spoken to you about me without you encountering me. Wike is in a hurry to rearrange Rivers State. I think so. Think so from the point of view, I've been in government. When I was in commissioner, it was a local government chairman.
Isn't that the reason why he should dwell more on that task? Because the task is enormous. And spend less of the time on trying to look in the other direction.
I think he had never done that. He's not a robust. No, listen, he's not a robust. If you talk about him, he's entitled to react to it. He has only reacted.
Shouldn't be every time.
Well, that is why people like us are also here. Because he would have also come here. If he had come, you would say that he's dwelling in the past. But these are issues that irritates when somebody who is a Rivers man not living in Port Harcourt can stay in faraway Lagos and Abuja and know roads that had not been done and know water that had not been treated. So it is when you attack him in that manner and he knows what he's doing, then he goes back to look at what did you do in 2 years when you were there. That's what brings him back. It's even bringing, in fact, he has told us a few days ago that he will not talk again. He will not react again. He will go ahead to do what he's doing. Let Rivers people see what he's doing and judge 2 years of A and 2 years of B. You don't compare 16 years with 2 years. Governor Peter Odili came into that amusement park and looked at it and said, wow, my God, where did this boy bring this type of idea to plant on our soil? He commissioned it. And you know, Odili is not a man given to talking anyhow.
Let's talk critically about what has happened now. You were there in the first tenure of Rotimi Amaechi.
No. I was never in that government.
No, you were not in government.
No.
But at least from what I mean is,
I wasn't even in the state.
You were not in River State.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do a comparison.
Yeah, but even although that I'm not in the state, I have always, every fortnight I'm in Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
You know,
do you believe that the 8 years of Rotimi Amaechi were years of waste, as is being claimed now, and there were nothing at all to build on by this
you know,
present government?
you know that those who are on ground will appreciate the situation.
Have you
and
seen
those
people
are
who share that
yeah,
point?
and those are opinions expressed reflect. Take for example.
Is that the opinion of those
yes,
that you have
yes,
encountered?
Yes.
That nothing happened in those 8 years?
No, you can't say nothing happened. It's a relative situation. You can't say, nobody can say nothing happened. Mayor going to the office and coming back, something has happened. You can't say nothing happened. I don't believe in that. I'm a lawyer. I can't agree on that. The amount of waste. Take for example, when we were there, when I was chief of staff, we were receiving about 14, 16 billion. When Amaechi came, he received up to close to 30 billion, including once in a while windfalls come. You know that means, and they make 60 billion. Wike consistently is receiving 5 billion. When we were there, internally generated was 12 billion. Today it's about 7, 4, 3. Because the economy is generally down in the country, so it's not peculiar to anyone.
But in spite of that, the governor has taken loans of close to 150 billion since he came in.
You can't. I'm not in a position to say.
There has been Paris reformed. I don't know how much the governor says. What the federal government claims is actually not what the state got. And he's not the only one saying that.
Yeah.
I think Ekiti governor is also making
one aspect of Wike.
Yeah, but what has come to the state in terms of resources and all of that? Do you think they have been effectively utilized?
Yes, Wike can be said to be an effective manager of man and materials. One thing about him, which even I draw his attention to, he's not diplomatic. He doesn't appreciate telling lies. He says the thing the way it is. At times I used to say, Excellency, no. He said, no, this is what it is. Not many people give out the type of information he gives out in government. I've been in government. For him to specifically bring paper to show how much he received on the Paris Club, that shows a man that is sincere. You say he received one, and he said, no, this is what I received. You see it there. And we can't have a handful of our people residing outside the state and come to talk about our people in bad light. People like Alabo Graham Douglas, Peter Odili, A.K. Horsford, Caribe White, Amenabo of Opobo, Jaja, Amenabo of Bonny, King Asimili Purple, the Isdekpeyolobo of Ekpeyaland, Oba of Obaland. These are regional, these are ethnic nationalities in River State. These are their kingdoms. Appreciates the man, and didn't appreciate people who were before him. There must be something Wike is doing.
All of those traditional rulers.
Oh yes.
They didn't appreciate the.
No, what I'm saying, they were not there. They do ceremonies in government. They don't go. But today, traditional rulers occupy a greater portion of any ceremony in River State. Okay. Now, look at the Christian community. Look at the Ecumenical Center. These are novel things in the state nobody has done before. Now, if you build a house for me, won't I clap hand for you? Now,
it's also, Chief Emeh, it's also possible to argue that those are just negligible percentage of the population of Rivers State if it is the interest of those people alone that a government attends to, simply because we want them to be hailing you and clapping?
No, I don't think you're right. You know, we are a Christian state. 99.5%. In fact, if you see,
how does taking care of the interest of the Amayanabo of Ogbaland, for instance, how does that affect the interest of the people of that domain?
They are Christians. They are Christians as well. So it's a project that is everybody, you know, is included. Wike does not do any project without thinking about it. He thinks about it. I'm a chartered accountant. He does a feasibility report. The technical visibility and the commercial viability of that project is taken into account before he goes in. And I want to tell you, there are projects that he said, I will complete every project started by my predecessor. Now, the concept in Nigeria is to abandon what your predecessor have started, which even happened. Everything already started was abandoned. But he said, no, I will complete everything that, and our people are happy. If he says, I won't complete what my predecessor have started, and starts another one somewhere, everybody on that area will suffer. Take the road going to the Ajuru University. It was a nightmare to pass there. But it was started by the previous administration, no doubt. But he completed it, the people, everybody is happy. If you go to Borokiri, a very important layout in Rivers State. I went with Wike to Creek Road Market. One of the occasions I rode with him. I couldn't understand my bearing. And I said, where is this place? He said, is it not your brother that left Creek Road like this? This is Creek Road Market. He said, God, my God. So what are you going to do? He said, no, I have to work on it now. I have to work on it. And today, go there. Go there. See the Burokiri layout. People like Sakibo, the former Minister of Transport, that's where they live. And some of these... Dr. Abiye Sakibo. Some of these roads were left because of the type of people that were living there. If Benga is living in I don't know how you describe Abuja, maybe Wuse too. And Glory Emeh is the FCT minister, because I'm not in terms with Benga. You were sure there's no light in Wuse? No road will be done in Wuse. And Wike said, no, that is a wrong idea. We will work for everybody in Rivers State, no matter where the person comes from. Because they're the ones that vote for it. Because the people that voted and will vote. And I tell you that Wike's 2 years will be smoother than the second 2 years, will be smoother than the previous 2 years. But the reports and the second term in office, by God's grace, because it's entitled to it, is a fait accompli, if you like. But reports coming from that state suggest that some of the problems are still very much there. In fact, have become very accentuated. Like security, for instance, court killings and all of that. And that you could see the hands of the government stoking all of this. No. How true is that? No. It's the same thing of giving a dog a bad name to hang the dog. I was in government. I knew where we were. You know, for the first time, the government is having the will to grant amnesty. But when he told me about it, because I was part of government when we attempted it. And he said, no, I'll do it. I'll do it. And when I do it, you will see the difference. And just a few weeks ago, he offered 36,000 employments, 5 persons per unit in the whole of the state. The idea is to accommodate all these persons who have willingly said we're no longer interested in bad militancy and things like that. You can never change it totally. It's everywhere. I remember once I was in Lagos to buy something, and some group of boys were following me. Those around, they say, this man don't enter the bad hand of these bad boys. So this is... Alaye boys. I don't know what to call in the late 80s. I was managing director of INLAX at that time. So what Wike has done is you must struggle to reduce it. Everything is, you cannot eradicate it.
Yeah, but the belief is that it was the politics of the 2015 that actually brought all of this back, that most of these things had actually been driven underground by the last administration.
It's not correct.
The last administration offered amnesty. Those who didn't embrace the amnesty were termed as criminals, and the government took the battle to them. I witnessed forests that were militants hideout destroyed and turned to health centers, and so many other things.
We had,
and that Port Harcourt actually regained his glory as the Garden City for that period.
Garden City is not associated with this. Garden City is the florals, you know, the
yes,
ambience,
and the peaceful ambience.
So,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
No,
Regain that beautiful ambience for that period.
Yeah.
But the run down to the 2015 election brought back militancy, court activities, and all of that.
There's no time.
And that the only reason why it is still festering is that the government of the day has a hand in it.
Nah, it's not.
That's what I wanted to react
Yeah, it's not correct. It's never the governor has always come down. They wouldn't have gotten militants. He wouldn't have even initiated the amnesty because they would have been useful to him, isn't it? There is another election, so why should he bring down those who promoted him, if you like? It's just we must be able to appreciate people no matter how much you hate them. You must appreciate them. There are things I cannot say about Odili. There's even things I cannot say about Amechi. Even though I don't know him, I didn't work with him. These things I cannot say about Emeh. You must never run down a man just because you hate him. But I know the problem Wike has. He is doing faster than his predecessors did. He's moving faster. In 2 years, he's doing what President didn't do for 8. So you must hate him. But why would we? Odili, who is a Christian, a real Catholic, came down to government house and looked at the place. And he called me because I work with him. I was commissioner for transport and aviation. I was commissioner for commerce and industry. I was commissioner special duties. I was special assistant to him in media and strategy. So I worked with him. And he called me, he held my hand. He said, look, he used to call me Uncle G when he's very happy, because that's popularly people call me in Port Harcourt. He said, this is your brother. Where did he get these ideas? Because me and him were missing our way inside government house, where we lived.
Yeah, but how does that affect the ordinary Port Harcourt
No,
person?
I'm just giving you
if
one.
That is in
No, I'm giving you example of Wike's.
Because I'm wondering how many people in Port Harcourt will have access to those things.
I'm giving you one example.
And how that will change their lives.
I'm giving you 2. One, the comments made by our leader, Odili, in the Pleasure Park. Now, the second comment made by him when we were inside government house. If you go to, for the first time, Rivers State government, a government in Rivers State, is going to the hinterland to dualize roads and put street lights. And it amazed me when somebody was here to say concentration, development was all in Port Harcourt. That was wrong. Even in my own home, Emeh local government, where I come from, is dualizing a road there. The one we just commissioned in Gokana is a dualized road, cutting across up to Magnus Abi's home with street light. If Wike is not magnanimous, if he does not have the fear of God, he will allow the road remain. After all, that road is going to his enemy territory, so to speak. But to him, he believes that by 2019, there will be no enemy. Majority of those who are in APC today will come over to work with him. So if he begins to distance himself from them now, he won't create room for them to come over when he needs them. That is why he could do road that was abandoned by the same people to the home of his supposed enemy. And we cannot but thank God that for, at least in this point in time, he gave us a person who can give our people some sense of belonging. Before now, if you are a riverine person and an upland person is a governor, you are in trouble with the riverine people. But Wike is more at home with the riverine, even to say the least, with perhaps even where he's from.
But a riverine person has never been governor. So
No, it doesn't matter whether they have been. They are a very important factor in our, you know, before now, during the military, no upland person has also been minister. So they are very important people. But the issue is that you have to appreciate them. You have to bring everybody together. You have to understand that the state belongs to you. You don't create division where you are managing. And Wike understood from he has been in government, 2-time local government chairman, nobody has broken that jinx in their area. From there, there's no dull moment to become chief of staff. From there to minister and back to the governor. He understands the rudiments of governance. And that is why he's not having difficulties in appreciating what to do. And he's not patient with any lazy person. If you are lazy, you are not moving according to his pace, both even the physical working and mental inability. He sees beyond defense.
Do I take it then that the governors, commissioners were lazy? That was the reason why he sacked all of them in one fell swoop at the weekend?
No. Dissolution of ESCO is a natural thing. It's a procedural thing. It's an administrative exercise. It happens all over the world.
If you listen to rumors, you would have heard that the center could no longer hold.
No.
And it was an attempt to prevent all of that. Because before the governor announced the dissolution of the entire cabinet, he had on his own sacked like 2 commissioners. He had sacked the commissioner for health long ago. Yeah. Then last week, I think on Thursday, he sacked the commissioner for works. Yeah. And then on Friday, less than 24 hours after, the commissioner for information on his own resigned. Yeah. There are insinuations that the governor had been having some running battle with the commissioners because his commissioners have been complaining of neglect, have been complaining of the governor running a one-man show, not carrying them along. They don't have the power to even award contracts or even effectively oversee their ministries. He's starving them of fund, they cannot pay their school fees,
hold it there. You know,
in case we are not hearing all of this, that's why I'm putting them to you so that you can react to them.
Hold it there. The advantage you have with me is that I am experienced. I've been inside government. And you can't work with Odele and you don't know anything. You can't. He's our father. Odele is a manager who appreciates the rudiments of administration. And Wike keyed into that experience. The commissioners are okay. They are comfortable. Our system has some provisions for the limits of commissioners. I was a commissioner in 3 ministries, so I understand how it works. No commissioner will do what the governor's duty is. Commissioner will do commissioner duty, governor will do his duty. And governor is the man who is looking at the machinery of government. Nobody calls commissioner's name. Everybody calls the governor. So if he sees that one area is not doing well, he's at liberty to rearrange it.
Because the buck will stop at his own.
Yeah. The commissioner for works is our brother, it's our younger brother. If Wike is parochial, he will keep him. He's from his home or near his home. The distance between his own community and that boy's community is a trackable distance. But he doesn't tolerate laziness. He doesn't tolerate indolence. He doesn't tolerate imperfection. So for him to take anybody out, that person is not moving to keep his pace. The commissioner for...
But you agree with what I said? I said, could it be inferred therefore that they were lazy?
No.
They were not able to keep pace with
him. Not everybody is sacked. He lets you out when you are not keeping the pace. I don't want to go into some other things, maybe say he doesn't want people to ask for gratification. I'm not saying anybody ask. He doesn't like that. He wants people to be appreciated. As I have come here now, any of your staff, you know one thing I observe in this place, I will tell Uncle Deposi, is the training he has given, you gave to these people he working here, to greet. Everybody from the gate to here, monster. Even army people didn't do that much. That is training, that is orientation, that is image, corporate image. So if you don't have the corporate image of Wike, he won't like you to draw him down. But the issue of dissolution of cabinet is a natural thing that is happening. It's not only our state that did it. It's not everybody that is deserved that will be away. He's going to sit back, rearrange himself, look at his work, look at who is doing well and who is drawing him back, who is pushing him, and put the people back. Because the next 2 years is critical to us in the state. And we have to work to ensure that our people continue to enjoy the division of democracy. He has lined up the number of roads that he must, because those are the major things in our area. We are a vast area. If we don't do roads, the people cannot bring the farm produce to the city center. And so he is very much committed on that. And he knows that more people are joining him because of what he's doing. And so he has to do more of it to bring more people. We want to reduce opposition to the barest minimum in Port Harcourt and in Rivers in such a manner that we will do exactly what Odele had. But one thing I want to say, if you like, is that persons who are not expected to come to the public to speak, you people should not allow them.
Why? We can't censor anybody.
I know, okay. You can go ahead. It's us in this
Do you think everybody wants to hear what you are saying
No,
now?
maybe.
So, and if I say no, you should say
okay,
that.
maybe. Benga,
Just say your own.
yes, Benga.
All right. So we can actually safely assume that the governor has done first part of a first start of a 4-year tenure.
Yeah.
So it's mid-term, really. What do we expect for the next half of the Wike administration?
Fantastic.
In River State? What is it that you think he should be doing and concentrate on if he actually wants to keep the people behind him?
He's already doing. We've already commenced. Roads are being done. He's going into hospitals. He's going into schools where he's also rearranging our students in such a manner that they can have real value. If you go to UST today, UST is as old as Rivers State, 50 years, the University of Science. They don't have medical school. And he's not a doctor, he's a lawyer. He just said, no, we should have medical school in this place. So he's building that. The Uniport is located in our home. We don't have a law faculty. How many years Uniport? Located in our home. He has built blocks for them, and they've come. The first year students will come in this September. So there are basic things he's looking at. He's expanding the greater Port Harcourt to make people go and reside there. So they are locating plus. It's not just clearing, and it's not going to be like Transamadi industrial area. This is going to be a combination of that, and so that
both industrial and residential.
And residential, yes. And that is just opposite the international airport. You know, if we had opportunity for Wike to build an airport, if it's not a federal responsibility, you will see what we wouldn't have allowed our people to stay without the airport.
Unfortunately, that airport was stripped bare by your party, or
which party?
The PDP, and left bare like that, such that that airport became the worst airport in the entire world.
So in 2 years, when we are given the responsibility to do it, what have we done?
All right, we have to go now, Chief. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Mecca?
There's nothing that you wanted to say that I didn't allow you to say.
The only thing I will say is that persons who have committed atrocities that should not appear in your public, including me, if I commit atrocity, don't allow me to appear, because somebody came here and said that he was granted knowledge. And you know, as a lawyer, I know what knowledge. I pray God I shouldn't do anything that will bring knowledge to me. Knowledge is a curse.
Is it?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, let's not go in that direction. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Chief Barrister Emeh is a former Commissioner for Transport and Aviation in Rivers State, former Chief of Staff also in Rivers State. He was Chief of Staff to Sir Celestine Emeh when he was governor. Until some months ago, one of the chief strategists of the APC in Rivers State. But today he's in the PDP.
Strategizing for APC. For
Okay,
PDP.
he's now strategizing for the PDP. Thank you so much. I appreciate
I
it.
appreciate, Benga. I appreciate. God
Enjoy
bless
the rest
you.
of the
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you so much for investing your time with us. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing.